Right, here on a farm I haven't been to for probably 25 years, maybe longer. We used to do it, and then they bought a new tank from a competitor. They've packed up milk in, they need it decommissioned. So I'm just looking at the standard of maintenance that the previous company have been doing. There's that pressure switch just floating about there. Just raised a pipe in there. That fan is curved like it wants to blow the air through the condenser, which is a bit odd. And that one's the other way round. So one of them's wrong. I would think it's probably the top one. So yes, it's definitely some interesting maintenance done on it. State of those wires too, look at them. These are weird units. They're Muller high perform system. They put the expansion valve on the outdoor unit, a bit like an air conditioning system, so it actually starts cooling right from here, and then they have an accumulator on there. The liquid line goes through the accumulator, and I think the idea is the evaporator is more or less right the way back to the accumulator, so there's no part of the milk tank is used for superheating the refrigerant, so they get more duty out of the cooling system. I think that's the theory behind it. But they have these weird special Sporlan valves that are actually here. If you look at it, you can see the file is actually on the liquid line, which if you didn't know about it, you'd think was wrong. Anyway, let's have a look around, see if we can find out where they got the power turned off. I found the power. These things have a mechanical timer. It's quite a good thing really. If the controller on the tank dies, you can bring the compressors on the timer and do like 40 minutes, half an hour cooling. Look at the state of these condensers, look at them. This used to have a couple of press coal units stacked here but facing the other way. They had a 940 gallon forward tank. This is going back 30 years. Okay, it's been left on wash, so let's put it on cooling. So we've got to decommission it with an iron and put it in somewhere else. So we just want to give it a run, see if it's good. That fires up. I think the fans might be run off a pressure switch. That one is a tiny bit of air coming this way. It's getting warm, so it's got a heat recovery system on it. I was told you couldn't put a heat recovery on this style of system because they're critically charged, but anyway, that's what it's got. Right, let's go and turn them off. Get it set up. Just open that panel up to isolate one of the compressors while we try and pump the top one down. Look at this, this is in, that should be going into there or something. It actually turned off okay, so I don't quite know what they've done. Done with it. Oh, I don't know. Let's go with that. That's the lower one. We want the other one. So we were right the first time. I'm not sure what gas this is on. I've not seen a label on it. Right in the R22. Quite old, it's a 1998 tank, so it could be 22, it could be 404. Right, got that wet valve wound in, I think. It's pulling through a Schrader. We're not going to get a Schrader tool in there. disconnected. Everywhere you look there's something wrong. They've got bits of fuse wire wrapped around them fuses, so obviously the fuses are blown. They haven't got the right fuses, so they've just put a bit of fuse wire around them, which is that's no good. There's some people you just don't like following, you know, you never know what's safe and what isn't, and they've been bodging everything. Anyway, that's the power cable out. So disconnect all the electrics while we're pulling the refrigerant out. I think it's on R22 going by the label on the unit, unless it's been changed, but if it's been changed they haven't labelled it with what they've put in there, so yeah. Okay, got the pipes cut, cabling cut. I've just coiled the cable up behind there. Pipes cut and brazed up. I've took the motor off the top. We've got all the legs and the spacers cable tied on the so they shouldn't go missing. Pipe out the way. That's all cut and sealed up. Only one of them was still connected to the heat recovery, so I suspect one of the plates has gone in the heat recovery for the top unit and they'd bypassed it. This is probably a replacement compressor, I think. This is probably, I think, is also a replacement because I don't think they would have come with the rotor locks. And that one's got ester oil in it anyway, so that's post 98 when this was new. It's probably a, what is it? ZB45, yeah. So that one's a 5 horsepower, and that one's got mineral oil in it. So we might change the oil when we put it back in, and try and run it on 449A, or maybe a R22 drop in. But I think you can put 449A in the Spaulding R22 valves, because I've got some power elements as a replacement for 22, but they also list a load of other different refrigerants on there, so I'll check that, because it's a special valve. It's not a normal expansion valve, which is why it's on the file is on the liquid line. It controls the it's critically charged system, and it basically controls how much refrigerant it lets into the evaporator by how cool the liquid line is coming out of the accumulator, because it floods back to the accumulator and chills the liquid line down. And we've noted there's 4.6 kilos in the one without the heat recovery and 5.5 in the one with, so they might have put another kilo in there to cope with the additional pipe work. Anyway, yeah, oh, we've got the control box took off and just sat on the top there.